All right, so we are studying Mandukya Upanishad, and we had two classes before. One was general introduction to the Mandukya Upanishad, and the previous class was kind of introduction to Om, the mystical sound called Om. In the first two mantras of Mandukya Upanishad, the Upanishad introduces two types of inquiries, introduces only. The first is oṅkāra, analysis of oṅkāra. Oṅkāra means the symbol, the syllable Om is also called oṅkāra. That is in the first mantra. The second mantra, Upanishad introduces Atma Vichara, self-inquiry. This is analysis of our own self, our own self Atma, the spiritual dimension of us. Then mantras 3 to 7 deal with this Atma Vichara, analysis with our experiences. And then mantra 8 to 12 again come back to oṅkāra Vichara, analysis on Om. So first is Om. We have learned that it's a mystical syllable, and since Mandukya Upanishad is related to sage or seer Mandukya, we may assume that the Mandukya or sage had a mystical experience about Om, which also have been experienced by many other seers and yogis down the ages, and even they are being experienced by many seekers. The Om is an eternal sound which represents the ultimate reality. Interestingly, there is a theory called Sphotovada of Bhartrihari, another sage, Bhartrihari, who was 2 centuries prior to Acharya Shankara, who put forward a theory of language called Sphotovada. Vada means theory, and sphoto is an interesting term. Sphoto means anything that shines forth or bursts forth, like Big Bang, you know. So his theory is, it's a very interesting theory. If I am sure at some point in our class, I shall deal with it. To be brief, according to Bhartrihari, every object in our world has a sphoto. Sphoto means a inherent meaning, a inherent knowledge associated with every object. And sound and words are just the external manifestation of that knowledge. Sounds that we hear, that we speak. So what I am speaking now, every word is entering your ear, and what is happening externally, as it were, sound exchange is going on. But according to Bhartrihari, there is a sphoto, a knowledge associated with each word, which is present in all of us. So each word I am speaking is actually resonating with the knowledge which you already have. Okay. And he says that this, all the sphoto, all the intended meaning inherent meaning of all the objects in the world, all the ideas are in fact part of a unified sphota. He calls it Shabda Brahma, sound Brahman, sound Brahman. Okay. And according to him, the entire creation has come from this Shabda Brahma, sound Brahman. And Om is only a indicator, a symbol of Shabda Brahman. Okay. So for now, it will be sufficient for us to know that Om is an indicator of the ultimate reality. In fact, Shankaracharya takes up this idea in his explanation of the mantra number 1, which we are going to study today. Okay, so even if you have not understood what I have said about Bhartrihari's Spotavada, don't worry. At proper time, we shall take a deeper look into Bhartrihari's Spotavada, which was kind of abundant in Indian philosophical thoughts. And later on, many other Western philosophers, like how do you pronounce it? Chomsky or Chomsky? Chomsky? Yeah, Chomsky took that idea of photo linguistic. So we shall take that up. So idea behind is that oṅkāra is a sonic representation of the ultimate reality. Sonic means related to sound. A sonic representation of the ultimate reality is oṅkāra. In our last class, Rick asked a question that is oṅkāra absolute or is it relative? Oṅkāra is something which bridges the gap between the relative and the absolute. Oṅkāra is something which bridges the gap between relative and absolute. Mandukya Upanishad, what it tries to do is take us to the transcendental, take us to the absolute with the help of this sound called Om. Another way of looking at Mandukya Upanishad is that it's a Upanishad which, with the help of the sound Om, wants us to take us to the absolute, to the transcendental. It will become clearer as we proceed. Okay, so let's start with the mantra. And what we shall do, we have broken down the mantra in different segments. We shall take one by one. Okay. The first, Om iti etat akṣaram. Om iti etat akṣaram. The word Om is the imperishable. Imperishable. The word akṣaram has got 3 meanings. One is imperishable. Second meaning is which is transcendental. And third meaning is a syllable. Syllable. All right. So three meanings. First meaning is imperishable, which does not perish, which does not decay, which is eternal. This translation has been given by W.B. Yeats, if I am pronouncing correctly, the Irish poet. How do you pronounce it? Yeats? Let me hear. W.B. Yeats?
Yates.
Oh, Yeats. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. W.B. Yeats, with the help of an Indian Swami, Purohit Swami. Okay. I shall share with you one interesting link where someone has given all the translations available for the each mantra. And I found this one is most appealing to me. Imperishable, akṣaram. At many places in the Upanishad, we find akṣaram. Even in Bhagavad Gita, akṣaram means one which does not have any decay. Shada. Shada means which is decaying, which decays. Akṣara means which does not decay. So the sound Om has been found to be eternally present by the mystics throughout the ages. And they have discovered it as the fundamental, primordial vibration of the universe. It is everlasting. Okay. In my translation, I have taken this meaning, imperishable. Second is, akṣaram also means transcendental, that is, as opposed to phenomenal, which is beyond the grasp of our senses, which is beyond our sensory perception. In that sense, Om is also called, remember, anahata, that is, it is a sound which is not heard by physical ear. The original Om is not heard through physical ear. Okay. Unstruck sound. Unstruck sound. Third meaning which Shankaracharya has taken is akṣaram as syllable. Om is actually three syllables. A, U, Ma. But the rule of Sanskrit grammar is when you have A plus U, they become O. Okay. So Aum, the three syllables have become Om, a single syllable. Om. Om. So Shankaracharya has taken this, then the meaning of this phrase becomes Om iti etat akṣaram, means the syllable called Om. The syllable called Om. But we are taking up the first translation. The word Om is the imperishable. Okay. All right. Then okay. Second phrase, idaṃ sarvam tasya upavyākhyānaṃ. Idaṃ means all this, idaṃ, all this sarvam means all these. Tasya, it's, that is oṅkār's upavyākhyānaṃ, its manifestation. Upavyākhyānaṃ has also got two meanings. One is a clear exposition or a clear explanation, clear elaboration. Another meaning is manifestation. Manifestation. Upavyākhyānaṃ as clear exposition has been taken up by Shankaracharya. In that case, the meaning of the phrase is Mandukya Upanishad is a clear exposition or explanation on Om. Mandukya Upanishad is a clear exposition on Om. An exposition or explanation of Om is being started. That is the meaning. Second meaning is upavyākhyānaṃ is manifestation. All this is its manifestation. Again, this is yet's translation. All this, that is, whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we feel, whatever we sense in the world, that is, the phenomenal world, the creation is manifestation of what? Tasya of Om, of the sound Om. How do we make sense of this statement? How do we make sense of this statement? Here, clearly, Om is being equated with the ultimate reality, the ground of existence, the Brahman. One of the definitions of Brahman we get in Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad. There, Bhrigu, a young boy, goes to his father, who is also a teacher, Varunaha, and asks this question, teach me about ultimate reality. Bhrigur vaihi varunihi varunam pitaram upasasaraha adihi bhagavo brahmeti. One very interesting, worth memorizing. Bhrigu goes to his father and asks, tell me, oh teacher, what is the ultimate reality? And Varunaha says, from which everything has come, in which everything is sustained, and to which everything goes back after dissolution. Try to know that. That is the ultimate reality. Tam hovacha yato va imani bhūtaṃ jayante yeno jātāni jivanti yat prayanti abhi samvishanti tat vijigyāsasva. That is the ultimate reality. So Brahman is said to be the ultimate reality from which everything is manifested. By saying that all this is Om's manifestation, Mandukya Upanishad is telling us that Om is an indicator of Brahman, a pointer to Brahman, the ground of existence, the ultimate reality. They are equivalent to each other. From Om, this creation has come. Everything is manifestation of Brahman. Just as we say that butter, yogurt, cheese, all this is milk. That is, all these are essentially milk. Similarly, whatever we feel, see, touch, hear, all are essentially Om. And this is the experience of the mystics, which could be experienced by all of us. All of us. That everything has come from Om, which is also what Bhartrihari puts forward in his Sphotovada theory. Every creation came from oṅkāra, and oṅkāra is identical with Brahman, the ultimate reality. In that sense, everything that we see is manifestation of Om. Now the question may be asked that everything that we are seeing around us is from manifestation of Om. Is it that does it mean only now? What about the past things, past incidents, or things to come in future? Upanishad makes it clear in the next phrase. What is the next phrase? Next phrase of the mantra is bhūtaṃ, bhavat, bhaviṣyat, iti sarvam, oṅkāra eva. Past, present, future, everything is Om. Not only what we see is Om, but what was and what will be, all is Om. All is Om. Past, present, and future. The past, present, or future mean of our own individual life, our own lifetime. Everything is grounded on Om. Everything that existed in our past exists in our future or exists right now. All of these are manifestation of Om. Similarly, the broader view is past, present, future of this cycle of creation, of this cycle of creation. According to Vedanta view, creation is cyclic. So creation happens, remain billions of years probably, then dissolution. So within this creation, whatever during this cycle of creation, whatever happened in the past, whatever is now, whatever will be in future, all have come from Om. All are manifestation of Om. So does it mean that Om is within time? Past, present, and future is about time. So is Om constrained by time? The next phrase goes to one step ahead and says that yacca anyat trikāla-atītaṃ tat api oṅkāra eva. Whatever transcends the three divisions of time, that too is Om. Whatever transcends the three divisions of time, that too is Om. So what is the thing what is beyond time? What goes beyond time? We know it, right?
Absolute.
Absolute.
Consciousness.
Right.
Consciousness.
Right. Right. So,
Satchidananda.
what's that?
Satchidananda.
Satchidananda. All right. Right. All the answers right. Yes. So the ultimate reality, which is even beyond the time, absolute Brahman. Om is the symbol of Brahman. So we find that not only Om is what is manifested, what has come, but what is even beyond manifestation. That is immanent. Whatever is manifested, we call it immanent. And what has not manifested is the transcendental. Transcendental. Om is Brahman. Another way of understanding is Om is present even before the creation, even after the dissolution of creation. As milk exists even without its modifications. Right? Milk can exist even without becoming butter or cheese or yogurt. In the same way, Om can exist even without the creation itself. Beyond the cycles of creation, it is eternal. And another way of looking at beyond time is, I would like to refer to the mystical experience. One of the features of mystical experience is timelessness. Timelessness. When we experience some mystical experience, for the time being, time freezes for us. We forget what time of the day it is, how long we are in this experience. So time, the concept of time, altogether vanishes from our mind. Maybe sage Mandukya, when he had this mystical experience of Om, after coming back from that experience, this is what he could recall, that it is not only past, present, and future, but it goes beyond even time. Timeless dimension of Om. Another way of understanding it. So maybe in that sense, Om is beyond time. Okay. So putting all of this together, what we get, the entire meaning of the mantra? The first mantra is Om iti etat akṣaram idaṃ sarvam tasya upavyākhyānaṃ bhūtaṃ bhavat bhaviṣyat iti sarvam oṅkāra eva yacca anyat trikāla-atītaṃ tad api oṅkāra eva. The word Om is the imperishable. All this is its manifestation. Past, present, future, everything is Om. Whatever transcends the three divisions of time, that too is Om. I will email it, not email it, I will upload it to that shared documents. You can take a look later on.
We'll get that, right?
Okay. All right. Let me see what are the questions. Is that another way of saying Om is timeless or beyond time? Right. Brahman. Trikāla means three times. Okay. Kala means time. Tri means three. Trikāla means past, present, and future. Okay. Trikāla-atītaṃ means one which is beyond the three divisions of time. Trikāla-atītaṃ. Okay. All right. Now, what I just said, it is my understanding. How Shankaracharya explained it. You have read probably how Shankaracharya has explained this mantra. he has done like this. This is the logic he has followed. There is only one reality, Brahman. And that one reality is appearing as many. Okay? This is known to all the Vedantins, Shankara's main position. There is only one reality, ultimate reality, which is appearing as many. And as gold, one single entity appears as bangle, ring, necklace, whatnot. All these modifications of gold is nothing other than different forms and different names. Let me repeat it. All the modifications of gold, all the jewelry made of gold is nothing but form and name. Ultimately, essentially, they are all gold. Chandogya Upanishad tells this beautifully. Vikara namadheyam mrittika eva sattvam. Mrittika means earth, soil. That is the reality. And when that same earth is made clay and made into different forms, they are nothing but clay. So all the forms, a jar or a pot and whatever, these are nothing but different forms and different names. Okay? Name and form are identical. Every form has a name. Similarly, every name signifies a form, a thing. In this creation, every form has a name. Okay? In this creation, every form has an associated name with it. Follow this Shankara's logic, okay? Try to follow Shankara's logic. And now every name is combination of sounds. Every name is combination of sounds. Mouse, 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 laptop, sounds. Okay. So everything created, it has a form. Every form has a name. Every name is combination of sounds. Okay. Now look at the word Om. How it pronounced? Oh. That is starting from lips, opening our lips up to our throat. And that covers the entire range of the sound production apparatus from here to throat. Every sound that we create from lips goes up to throat. So this, I believe, Shankaracharya took from Bhartrihari's Potovada, that all the possible sounds, all the probable sounds, all potential sounds is covered by the sound of Om. The sound Om covers all the potential range of sounds that can be made to human beings. Okay, so oṅkāra is the substratum of all sounds. All the possible sounds are thus potentially included in Om. Right? Now sound, all the sounds go into make name. So if oṅkāra contains all the potential sound, that means it contains all the potential names. Names are combination of sounds. Om can create all sounds. All the sounds create names, and names is indicate form, things. Thereby, Om includes every form and everything. Thus, Om is the symbol of entire existence. Om is the symbol of entire existence. Did you follow the logic? Any question about it? Okay. Ask me. Shankaracharya's logic. Yeah. Om is a way to be introduced into the ultimate. Exactly. Yes, Om is the experience of vibration and resonance. Exactly. Exactly. Did you follow Shankara's logic? Yes.
Swami.
Yes.
So, in the beginning of the talk tonight, you said, is Om manifest or unmanifest? Right? So now we see. So my question is then, is Om an attribute of the absolute?
Good question. Would anybody like to answer it? I'd love to hear it. Is Om an attribute of the ultimate?
An inherent quality of consciousness?
It is an indicator, it's a pointer to absolute.
Okay. What
But
more?
then not absolute.
The absolute cannot have any qualities.
Exactly.
Absolute cannot have any qualities, right?
Om is the consciousness.
Okay.
It's a manifestation of the absolute.
Okay. What else?
I
The
think
symbolic.
a quality is a little different than an attribute, because a quality is, the way I'm thinking of it, is more like an experiential thing.
Right.
The words are kind of getting in the way. It's still an aspect of unity.
Right.
But a division. It may be sourced there. So the question is it manifest or unmanifest? That's the question. Swami posed that in the beginning. So it occurs to me that Brahm is the first attribute of the creation. Brahm is the first boundary that occurs on the absolute. And perhaps, I'm just talking out loud now, and that Brahm is, and that Om is the receptacle that Brahm plugs into to be the milk that makes the yogurt, to be the milk that makes the ice cream. But before that plug goes in, only absolute. And if you put something there, then you give it an attribute. So it can have no thing. The absolute can have no meaning. It is beyond meaning.
All right. Anyone else like to answer? All right.
I just want to say one more thing, Swami.
Yes.
Om is not only is Om complete in the unitive, it's also an interface between, just like the infinity sign.
Right.
Well, Om is like it's in the middle. It's
Right.
it's at the point of realization.
Right, 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 exactly. So we started with this, that Om is a bridge, we may think of as bridge between the relative and the absolute. Okay. How we experience the absolute. Whenever we are experiencing the absolute, it is losing its absoluteness, right?
Right.
Exactly. So anytime we are talking anything about absolute or experience about absolute, it is bound to be not absolute. Okay. But for our practical purpose, Om may serve as pointer, indicator of absolute. Okay. And as Rik, the name, and the person Rik, philosophically speaking, are not the same thing. I am saying here Rik. Okay. And is it Rik present here, just in front of me? Think about it. Is not it? Rik. I can speak here about Rik. Rik is not present at all. Rik is somewhere else. But for our practical purpose, Rik, the name and form, have become identical. We should, for the time being, let us think about Om in that way, that it is an indicator of the absolute. Okay. In fact, Upanishads will be speaking that this is one of the best indicators. One of the best indicators. Okay. So it is not the only indicator, first of all. Secondly, one of the best indicators. Paul, would you like to say something?
Yeah. So in mathematics, we have irrational numbers, and they are expressed. Irrational numbers in math are expressed by a symbol, like the symbol I or something, and it allows us to perform mathematical operations and gain greater understanding.
Right.
So in that way, it's like oṅkāra.
Right. Right. Rick, what do you think?
Paul didn't come in too good for me, but he's saying something about math and that but here's what we do with math. It occurs to me. We take something and we create and we give it a meaning. We take an abstraction and we give it a meaning. And in giving it a meaning, we give it a purpose. In giving it a purpose, then it has function. So this is what Om is, that same thing. Om is the
symbol.
Is the symbol of the abstraction becoming relative.
Right.
But you know, I keep hearing about this gap. And so this, and some people say that the gap is an actual experience where it's not absolute, but not relative. And that, like some people, I've heard of a saying about the lamp at the door. Do you know this one? Is that the gap? The lamp at the door.
What does it mean? Lamp at the door?
It means that the doorway stands, the threshold of the doorway, one way to absolute, one way to relative. I think the doorway itself is Brahm.
Yes. True. The thing is, when we are speaking about absolute, nothing actually can be spoken, is not it? So whatever we are trying to express is actually trying to limit it. But it has a value. It has a value because Upanishad wants us to take us to the absolute. How will it take us? If you remember, William James said that mystical experience can have only two responses from the mystics. After having an experience about the absolute, the mystics can have only two options. One is keeping silent. Second, but then he says, but mystics are not good at that. They speak. They speak, and they speak in terms of metaphor, analogy, and they sometimes appear to be paradoxical and differing from each other. Okay, so ultimately, in the broader scheme of things, Brahman, what Upanishad is trying to teach us, is cannot be spoken actually, cannot be spoken. Shankaracharya writes about in a famous Dakshinamurti Stotram that under a tree, the teacher is sitting, and encircling the teacher are the students, and the teacher is silent. Through silence, the teacher is transmitting the knowledge. That is the best thing that can be done. But for that, all of us have to understand what is the meaning of the silence. In fact, interestingly, Mandukya Upanishad will teach us that all that is most important in Om is the silence that comes after we pronounce the word Om. The silence is the most important thing. That is what Mandukya Upanishad will tell us. The silence is not only the most important thing, Mandukya will tell us the silence is the basis of sound. Think about it. Had there not been silence, there would not have been sound. Okay. So this thing will be clear. Okay. What Mandukya is trying to teach us. Okay. And that leads us to our next question, that what we studied so far, is it a claim or is it a fact? Is it a description or a prescription? What if the claim is false, that actually nothing has come from Om? Actually, there is no such thing, Om, which does not transcend in time. What if? What do you think? If this is only a claim?
I think it can be like a postulate.
Yes.
Like a good faith claim for the sake of explaining what is to come.
Right, exactly. So Mandukya is in fact inviting us to have experience of Om. Experience of Om. My understanding is Mandukya is all about meditation on Om. But scholastic traditions have made Mandukya, more emphasis has been given on the states of awareness. Okay. States of trikāla, avasthatrayo, 3 states of waking, dreaming, and sleeping, an analysis of that has become more a dominant explanation of Mandukya because of the nature of the scholars. Scholars would not discuss much about mystical experiences. They will go into more philosophy and more intricacies, ideas and concepts. Okay. So what Mandukya said in the first mantra, that everything is oṅkāra. Everything is manifestation of oṅkāra. Whatever was, whatever is, whatever will be in the future is oṅkāra. And not only that, what is even beyond the time is oṅkāra. This is, for the time being, let us take it as a prescription. Okay? A prescription. And That will be the goal of Mandukya, that giving us a symbol, an indicator, a vachaka, pranava, oṅkāra, with the help of which probably we can get an idea of the absolute. Okay. So even if this claim is false, we don't know. We have to experience. We have to take the challenge or adventure to find out whether the claim is a claim only or it is a description of reality. If it is not a, say, not a description of reality, for the time being, let us take it as a prescription to go to the reality, the heart of reality. Okay. So what Mandukya will teach us is to internalize Om, equate Om with our three modes of awareness: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, so that we can directly experience the transcendental awareness. That is the value of Mandukya, according to me. So when we meditate on Om, when we chant Om, what we are trying to do is we are trying to create within ourselves a vibration. And Mandukya is actually trying to tell us the same vibration that we are trying to create within us is resonating with the cosmic vibration, so that for the time being, we are in tune with the cosmos, a harmonious vibration in our entire psychophysical system, which is in tune with the cosmic vibration. And if we can do that, Mandukya's promise is we can understand the silence. We can understand the silence, the real, which cannot be expressed through words or descriptions or symbol. Okay, that is the value of Mandukya. So summary of this mantra is, Om is a profound sound. Mystics down the ages have found it to be at the core of the universe. It is the keynote of our existence. It transcends the phenomenal world. It is transcendental. At the same time, everything that is vibrating, whatever is in the creation, it has come from the vibration of the primordial vibration, the eternal vibration of Om. And with the help of this Om, we can reach or touch the ground of our existence. Mandukya Upanishad will teach us how. So what have you noticed in the very beginning, at the very start, Mandukya, what it is trying to do? Expanding our consciousness, expanding our awareness. That our awareness is limited to, things around us, what is happening within us. At the very beginning, it started with Om. This is everything. Om, past, present, future. So it is inviting us to expand our awareness to a vastness, a profundity. In fact, second mantra also will do the same thing. It will introduce the concept of Atma, our own self. And introducing this, it will say, this Atma is profound and vast. That is why Mandukya is said to be such a powerful Upanishad. Our other Upanishad starts with a story, a dialogue. After some time, they introduce these magnificent concepts or expanded, which expand our horizon. Profound concepts. Mandukya, at the very beginning, you know, you have heard the word Om, but Om is not a sound only. It is entire creation. So with the help of Om, it is, if we are in tune, if we are in the right mood or right frame of mind, from the very beginning, Mandukya is trying to expand our awareness, expand our horizon. That is the beauty of Mandukya. And that is why Mandukya is taken up for study at the very end of all the Upanishads. So that, for example, I refer to Chandogya Upanishad, I refer to Taittiriya Upanishad. These are all major Upanishads, the 10 major Upanishads. So by the time someone traditionally they study Mandukya, the student has gone through all the Upanishad, not only has gone through, assimilated all the Upanishad, so that a reference will bring the entire idea about name and form and sounds, everything. All right. Any further question? Does Om need to be verbalized in some very high situation? I could not understand, Victoria, your question. Can you?
I'm just thinking of when Buddha was holding the flower, and one of the devotees was able to, I think he smiled, which was the understanding that he had understood what the Buddha was trying to convey. It just seems like, the vibration, the invisible vibration of Om was resonating to all of those devotees, and this one was able to get it through that. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Interestingly, it reminds me that Om is a sound, a sacred sound, not only in Hinduism, in Buddhism, as well as in Jainism. Okay. Jainism is a non-theistic religion. They don't believe in the existence of God, but still, Om is their constant upasana. It all goes to prove there's something extraordinary in Om. Something extraordinary in Om. Okay. Why did you start us on this Upanishad? Well, because most of us have studied Aparaksha and two Upanishads already. Om is the absolute. Om is the absolute. For the time being, we can take it. Om is the indicator of the absolute. And for our own practical purpose, Om is the absolute. Om is the absolute. Okay. Name and the thing are identical. Where does Prakriti fits in between Atman and Brahman? Prakriti is the manifestation of Brahman. Okay. Prakriti is the manifestation of Brahman. All right. So much for mantra 1. Does Om actually help us include both the relative and absolute rather than explain the relative away as an illusion? The full bell fruit. Priti, you have to speak up. You have to please illuminate me. What do you mean?
Maharaj, I'm just trying to understand it. That's why. So since Om talks about the time, as well as it alludes to the silent part, which is, beyond time. Yeah. So we're talking about the relative and the absolute. So it is not, when we say Om, we're not denying the relative as such.
No.
Am I misunderstanding this? Yeah.
No. Not at all. So This is the beauty of the Upanishad. With the help of relative, with the help of Om, it will give us a glimpse of the absolute. It holds the potential to give the experience of the absolute, intuition about the absolute. Okay?
Yes.
So yeah, both. It's
yeah.
as manifestation, it is relative. As Brahman, the ultimate reality, it is the indicator of the absolute.
Yes, Maharaj. So but in like the Gyan Marga, the relative world is just explained as an illusion, that it does not even exist. So, but here it is not denying that. We're going through with that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a very good question. The one thing I have to remember, if we read the Upanishads, so Upanishads never deny the existence, never call it illusion. Okay. Only when non-dual Vedanta as a scholastic tradition tries to explain Upanishad and the only reality as Brahman, then only they come to the idea that the world is an illusion. Okay. In no Upanishad, you will find the denying the world as illusion. All that Upanishad will be trying to do is taking us from where we are and giving us a glimpse of what lies beyond and inviting us in different ways. Isha Upanishad started with seeing God everywhere and try to um, work meaningfully, serve others meaningfully, because we are all one. There is only one existence, oneness of existence. Okay. It never said that forget the world. In fact, Upanishad says if you want to live 100 years meaningfully, then do your karma work in a meaningful way. In a meaningful way. What is the meaningful way? Trying to see oneness of existence. Then Kenu Upanishad never did deny about our experience, world of experience. Kenu Upanishad says that look at your own being, what you are at the core. That is a profound something. Profound something. Now, how to do that? You try to find out in your every cognition who is knowing, who is witnessing, who is witnessing. But nowhere in Kenu Upanishad it was told that what we are experiencing are false, are illusion. Never. Mandukya, what they will do, they are giving us a tool called Om, with the help of which we can find out that profound reality, which was spoken of in the Isha Upanishad and also in the Kenu Upanishad. All the methods, these are different methods, different tools. If we like Isha Upanishad's method, oneness of existence, then try to see God everywhere. Then make it a practice. Try to see God everywhere. If Kena Upanishad, try to find out who is witness behind all the experience. And now Mandukya is placing before us another way of reaching the same reality through the help of Om. Through the help of Om. Okay, so coming to your question, Om is not denying the relativity. Okay, Om is a bridge to the absolute. With the help of Om, we are supposed to get a glimpse of the absolute. So absolute is by definition beyond space and time, right? Yes, absolute is beyond space, time, and causality. Causality. Okay, cause and effect. Would anyone like to offer any other idea? Something going on in your mind about this and you would like to share? Please share. Because as I said, Mandukya is our collective project. Okay. I have more time than you, so I am going through more books and trying to present before you. Not that I know more than you. Okay, so it is our collective project. Any idea will be probably helpful for all of us.
I was just thinking about something we discussed earlier when we said Om is a symbol. I think was it Paul was talking about it, I was thinking about that idea. It doesn't seem to do justice because you can have different symbols to represent the same idea. Like in mathematics or physics, you can say let x equal to something, but you could very easily say let y equal to the same thing, right?
Right.
So maybe indicator is a better idea, or proxy.
Yes.
Something other than symbol. Symbol sounds like somewhat arbitrary. You could choose different symbol depending on the culture you are in, the time, and so on. That was one thought I had. The second one was, you mentioned the Om is mentioned in Buddhism, Jainism, but is there something similar in other religions, such as Western religions? Not necessarily Om, but something like that.
I was thinking, New Testament starts with, in the beginning there was word. Logos, okay? And many explain it, the word as Jesus Christ. Word means Jesus Christ, okay? That way we may think that why the New Testament starts with, in the beginning there was a word. Okay.
Thank you.
So Paul, what's your understanding about this? In the beginning there was a word. Oh, you have to unmute. Yeah. You can't unmute? Yeah, you can. Unmute. Just, the... Yes.
Oh, okay. What was the question?
Question was...
What is the word? Like
in the beginning there was word.
Yeah, John 1:1. Yeah, I don't think it needs to be any specific word. I think it's like culture specific. I don't think there's anything intrinsically special about the syllable Om that we pronounce with our lips and hear with our ears. I think it fulfills the same function as like Amen, which we read in the Psalms, whatever the word is at the beginning of the New Testament, it says the word was with God and the word was God. And then it says the word was made flesh and appeared, among us. So it's kind of taking this transcendental concept that was present at creation, and then it becomes manifest and it's among us. So it's very similar to I think what is taught in the Upanishad.
Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah. So I was also searching a bit about what is the meaning of in the beginning there was word. Are they referring to any particular word or sound? So here it appears that biblical scholars may say that in the word means in the beginning there was Jesus Christ, right? Yeah, that is interesting. Thank you. When we talk about Om in terms of mantra, we get during initiation. In that case, Bija Akshara is supposed to be the bridge between the ideal personal deity and absolute, right? Okay, Anand, I shall talk to you about it in person. Okay, personally. This is about mantra. So, okay, when we meet, we shall talk about it.
Okay, Maharaj.
Okay.
Rough.
I see a raised hand. Preeti, you want to say something?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Actually, I read something in the gospel today,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's interesting because Thakur is talking with Mahima Charan, and the conversation is regarding the Gyanis and the Bhaktas, and so Thakur says that you explain Om with reference to A, U, and M only, and so Mahimacharan says A, U, and M means creation, preservation, and destruction. Then the master gives an interesting idea. He goes to say, but I give the illustration of the sound of a gong. The sound is Tom. It's spelled as Tom, but the O is pronounced as Os, Tom. And then he says, it is the merging of the Leela in the Nitya. The gross, the subtle and causal, merge in the great cause. Waking, dream, and sleep, deep sleep merge in Turiya. The striking of the gong is like the falling of a heavy weight into a big ocean. And waves begin to rise. So the relative rises from the absolute.
Okay.
And then that goes back in, and it goes on to say then, so from the absolute to the relative, and from the relative to the absolute. So he says, he gives the illustration of the gong sound Tom. And and he says, I have perceived all these things. So this is page 653 of the gospel. Just so this is the first time I read this.
No, you must have read this, but you have noticed this probably.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes. Right. So this is why we are talking about mystical experiences. Okay. So it's not that the ultimate reality has only one indicator, and that has to be Om. That we have to keep in mind. Even Upanishad will be speaking that there are many, but Om is one of the most celebrated, one of the best. One of the best does not mean that it is only has to be this, right? Then it will tantamount to those who don't do oṅkāra spiritual practice, oṅkāra meditation. They aren't going to go get to the reality. It cannot be, right? Cannot be. So that's why I pose the question: is it descriptive or prescriptive? Description has to be always true, right? Prescriptive means that it is prescribed. It will take you to there. Two things, right? Description and prescription. And about the spiritual things, mystical things, it is very difficult to say that the explanations or ideas that we get are descriptive. Have you got it? The difference between description and prescription?
No.
Okay. Description is seeing as it is. Okay, they are being told as it is. Description of week. Okay, description of week. Okay, I said description of San Francisco. So it will be a fact. Description about San Francisco. It will be a fact that San Francisco is on this latitude, in that longitude, that area. This is description of San Francisco. Prescription about San Francisco is go, take US 50 or US 80. Which one, 80 or 50?
80.
80. Take 80 and go 120 miles. Okay, that is where San Francisco is. That is prescriptive. Okay, it will take you to San Francisco, but it is not telling that San Francisco is only like this. Okay. Okay, so for most of the scriptures, Upanishad or anything, Bible, whatever we read about these mystical things, we should always think of them as prescriptive than descriptive. Okay, because descriptions will vary from mystic to mystic, and that will become the bone of contention. Think about the same Upanishad, three great mystics, Shankara, Ramanuja, Madhva, three great mystics, three illumined people are explaining totally differently. Forget about the ultimate reality. The same Upanishad, they are describing differently. So what should we make out of it? All of them are wrong, right? Or whatever they are talking about does not exist. So 180-degree different from each other. That means there is no absolute reality called Brahman, or all of them telling lie. So what is profitable for us is to think of these as prescriptive. Take up one which resonates with us, follow that. Follow that, we might get a glimpse of the ultimate. Okay. Om, Amen, Amin. Link. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Yes. Right. Right. All right. Thank you so much for taking part in the discussion. Okay, I will send. Okay, if someone does not have, so someone who is not included in the email distribution list, please let me know their email ID. I shall include it. Okay. I think Rumna Deal, I don't have her email ID. All right, then we